I have presented, I would like to present you two presentations. First, I would like to talk a little about my university. I would like you to know a little Poland, Białystok, my university. And it was first shorter part of my presentation. In the second part, I would like to present my research from the energy point of view, from the Poland point of view. Because we have quite different situations about weather, about cost of energy, and the comfort, thermal comfort in the building, so we are focused on that. So I would like to present, because my idea is to find out different solutions, new ideas, what I can do from your point of view in my country. What can I introduce? So that's all. So where is the Poland? Do you know Poland? Have you heard something about Poland? So as you can see, we are here. It's Alger. I am first time in Africa at all. I'm first time in Alger. I didn't know this part of world. I'm very delighted. I have a huge respect of you for visiting here. Okay, so we are here. This is Białystok, and we are in northeast part of Poland. North part of Poland is known in Poland, from Poland point of view, as green lung. So, like your part is green, comparing to the most of Algerian, this is similar like in Poland. So this is map of Poland. We are located in Białystok here, and this is the pictures from my city, my born city. This is Białystok. We have about under 4 million inhabitants. We are located among the natural parks. We have many, in our region, north part, we have many lakes, many green, many forests. So it's a huge consequence for our history, because the main material which were used in the building, comparing to the South Europe, it was just the wood. So the wood was the materials, the first devices was built by wood, and it was the main sources of energy, and in many cases are still up to now. In many small villages, people using wood, because the growing of wood we have much more than we are able to use. About the university, we are the largest university in our part of Europe. We have over 12,000 university. We have 7 faculties. I come from civil engineering and environmental science faculties. There is the look from the sky to our campus. There are the main campus refractory, mechanical, electrical, and civil engineering department, which consists of 3 buildings, and this is the places for living for the students. As you can see, they are quite green. The most important, we have first degree, second and third degree, and no degree students. We have many scientific agreements in all of the world, general, and one part which is now much popular, where many Polish people are using from this form of study, is Erasmus program, Erasmus Plus lately, and we have many students. Most of them comes from Europe, from South Europe, especially this is Portugal, Spanish, and Turkish. Some of the students come from Africa and South America. We have students even from Algeria too, because for I suppose. It was huge opportunity. And maybe from one of the students I'm here, the person I meet, they recommended me. So there is some information we can find out in the net about the opinion about our university. This is the building where I'm working directly, and I work in the Department of Sustainable Construction and Building System. This is my college, this is our vice rector, this is our boss. I would like only to show you how many people work. So this is our library, which means that this is not that we want, but if you would like to have temporary comfort, we need to find the solutions, what we need to do. And whatever you do, we need to invest some money in this system. Because I mentioned about the wood, but the new word, our temporary comfort, press us to find solutions which can work independently on our activities. For now, many people has wood, it's true, because it is much cheaper, but they need to add their work, our work. But these systems can work independently. There is some automatic system, or here this is air heat pump system, and this is part of our building, some devices to measure the temporary comfort, and what probably, I don't know what is your experience, but you can do similar in your locations, because now we are focused of dissipation energy during the winter time, but we can tell the same what is about this heat flux when you have additional gain from solar radiations. So this is the same problem. Maybe the problem is that this difference during the winter time, this difference temperature is much greater than difference between our thermal comfort temperature and the temperature outside. So there can be 20 degrees if you have 40 or over 40, but when you have minus 20 and you would like to have 25, you have 45. So this heat flux can be different, but this is the information which gives us you directly where is the main point. And this area research, this is focused lately about these heating systems, as you can see, about like greenery and object in small architectures, because in our department are architectures too. And what I noticed in your library about green wall, we have the same new building with green walls too. Okay. And this is another laboratory base which we have with some results. And as you can see, we can notice, for example, here you can see what is the difference temperature profiles. But these temperature profiles, I would like only pay attention, because this is what we are analyzing. It will not always be because you have any errors with the constructions. This is three-dimensional heat transfer problems. You will always have in the corner lower temperature than in the center in the place. But this difference can be really, really huge, but it has consequence. We can talk in details. So as you can see, some pictures I will not be reading, and these elements can be quite maybe new for you, because according to the first these requirements, and if you would like limited the energy for ventilations, we started to measure the real flow rate of ventilations. You understand? Because now, even if you have the door closed, there is the leakings in the window. General, as so far, we didn't notice here. But when you have huge building, when you have huge surface of area, you will notice that when you gather it during the heating season, it is quite energy. But this energy, this is your money. I mentioned yesterday about 25–30% of Polish family, especially maybe more in the north, they spend for heating, not from electricity for energy, but for heating. For us, I was focused because many years ago when I was starting I wanted to make any decisions. First, I was interested in technical, but the world was changing. I noticed this maybe a little earlier, but I noticed that whatever world will be in our locations, people need have a heat. To have a heat, if you have AI, you need the pipe, you need the hot water. Whatever is, now the engineering from civil engineering is missing in Poland. First, because it's quite a difficult study. There is not maybe so popular, and now, many years ago, it was a little different, but now they are missing engineering from this part. With experience, of course, because first, to know this language and to use it, this is quite two different things. So, as you can see, this is what I would like to talk a little later. As you can see, you know that you have models. I will just make some pictures about these models of our presentation to show you and to tell what we are able to do and what we are doing. And when you can see the most subject which are often used, this is heating, energy, ventilations. Because in our point, this is the clue, and you have some publications. Of course, now we have quite interesting cooperations with our university in our east side, and we have some results. And this is from the one of the this main program, which comes on like Iskra, is from the name means like fire. And this is some kind of publications from our activities. And closing this project, the VIP skills, that intensive course developing in practical skills in the different countries is popular. We have, and lately is very popular, something like summer schools. We are quite popular because many people from different countries can meet. So I sometimes, first, knowledge is important, but this is what you did here. When people are meeting and they can have some task. Not sometimes it can be so much developed or difficult, but they can make relations between them. So it's important because the new idea is creating when people are talking. When you are closed, the results are small. So this is the day to my directly boss, Vice Rector Dorota Krawczyk. And this is this first presentations I would like to take about our university, and I would like to close, but the other I would like to talk about this. I propose selected issue of building energy because meanwhile I would like to talk a little about this thermal comfort, about this heat, cooling clauses of the building, okay? But in details, this problem, energy performance, the heating system, this is the consequence, okay? So I can only touch, but when we will be talking, we can develop it, okay? I can tell you. So, what is the target? What we are talking? If you have, this is what I post. There is the one thing I notice being in Azure, and to explain one thing. Everything what I'm talking, I don't want you believe me. I don't want you to give me the right that I'm right, I'm not right. I'm just talking. You will just choose what you are interested. This point of view, this building, this is my point of view. Because for many Polish people, I even don't talk about Europe all, because each of us has different need. But for most of the young people from my friends, they want, sometimes of they have, not everybody, but for example, some small houses in the future. Not when you are young, you don't. Most of young people don't want only to traveling. Most of them. I have daughter. It's important part. They has minimalized. They want to have one skirt, one blouse, and they have a little time to go, for example, to gym, to travel something, and that's all. But when you are children, when you have family, you would like to have a little sports for yourself, for your calm. So this is my point of view. So that's why when you have something like here, you need for your family money. But to have your money, you need work. When you work, you are not in the house. But you need this money to have a thermal comfort. But when you don't have this thermal comfort, all problems disappear. Now we can talk about thousands of problems in this building. And this problem when we are healthy. When we are not healthy, all these problems disappear. All this problem, we have one problem, not this 2000. So to have this thermal comfort, we have to know many devices. When we are talking about smart building, we have many different devices. And we were starting doing many years ago to build this smart building. But my point of view is that we need to invest money and we need service. Okay? And because the system is changing rapidly about devices, sometimes you have problem because some regulators, some of the automatic, you can repair it. You need to build another one. And these solutions generate cost. So we need to find a balance. But general, we sometimes people talking like FAC. You know this FAC, the word heating, ventilations, and air conditioning. In the English paper, you will find this short words. And this is very range subject. But let's go to our energy. Most of us know this thermal energy. We can thermal resistance to reduce this loss of energy. But otherwise, which you would like to have comfort, this is ventilation system with heat recovery. Okay? So there are many papers in the past. We are focused. So today, from Europe point of view, it's impossible to have passive building with relatively low energy without this ventilation system. When I was coming from your building, I'm looking at the heating system, because you have heating system, and I would like only notice to say that yesterday was what temperature we had in Guelma? Over 20 degrees. The heating system, the heater was hot. In Poland, we have automatic, we have thermostatic valves. You don't have this thermostatic, because if our boss noticed that you have over 20 and you are heating, it's not good. Okay, so, I'm talking about here because there's different situations. It doesn't mean, so this is what I said, that it is wrong, okay? For you, it's okay. Many years ago, if the energy was cheaper, it's okay. Now, it is changing. As you can see, from ventilations, you have much over 40%. General ventilations, this is 40%. So even you make huge insulations, you need to have fresh air. Okay, that's all about here. The other way, I would like to give you some knowledge about the cost of electricity from the 2016 up to now. This is the war on the Ukraine, but look, this is one of the components. I put this information because maybe we don't feel it, but you can believe me, when your money from your pocket will disappear, you will feel it in a few seconds, and we will feel it. So, but the idea is just what I'm here, and when we are talking about AI, this is something which I would like to be used. This is the time, this is the cost of electricity. We don't need to analyze in details the value. Everything what we should to know, that during the time in Poland, the prices is changing. Now, you can choose stable cost of electricity and the cost dynamic. Now, about 50% of the families have this, we can call intelligent counter. This word intelligent is not properly, but they count in 1 minute steps, 10 minutes, 15 minute steps, this electricity. And I'm sure, I'm convinced, I can be wrong, but I'm convinced that in the future, in the next few years in Europe, most of the families will have these smart counters, probably in here, because we have experienced that sometimes the company has on the market so huge cost of energy, and when you have stable prices, they lost, and they don't want to lose, because when can make agreement with you, they will always can add their year's margin. Yes. So these informations that most of us will have this and having alternative energy sources, this is informations which I would like to use, because when we have this cost, when we have any storage system, I'm talking about storage energy, it can be heat or electricity, we cannot use. But we can use when, for example, many people in Europe has photovoltaic system, solar collectors, this price is low. We don't need invest in this value, because when we are talking about the building, so we are talking always that we need invest. But using the IA, using this knowledge, this information, sometimes we can invest in our knowledge. We can use this value not to invest our money, because our neighbors invest. Okay. Look, how much days we have during the summer times about this temperature. You have histogram of the outdoor temperature of Białystok. So first, comparing to the previous day, this temperature grader are moved, but this is how many days we have about minus day, how many times this is frequency. So comparing to this is quite huge value. It's still, it looks that it's only a few days, but these few days can change everything, because if you imagine that by 10 weeks you have minus 20, you are not protected, because you can protect for a few hours. After a few hours, the temperature will rapidly dropping down. When you stay in this building for 2 days, the water will freeze, and next day you will have near zero. But when you add the heat, the first elements need heat, like your partitions. Okay? They accumulate. Okay, let's go to our next part. So we are using about 40 energy for consumption. So new building, as you can notice, quite has, sorry, too much slides. We have quite huge surface from south side. Because people, sometimes in Poland, and architectures has in the mind that they can absorb solar radiations from the south. It's true when the sun is shining, but according to our even simulations, you can notice that heat loss during the winter time is greater than you can gain in the spring or on the autumn. But the architecture, Polish architecture, says this is from the north, we're catching the light. But people starting living in this building, and after a few years, everybody, 100. I have many friends, they said, I would never do that. I would never do it. Architecture's project, as you can see, there is any terrace, balcony. No. Because people, when I'm talking to my friends, when they make any terrace, balcony, I said, don't do that. They said, no. And after this, you said to me, we have only problems. We have only with the leaking stuff, there's only problems. So I'm talking here just to you understand me that if you'd like to have this building, we need to changing our thinking because we have to find this balance. And when we are talking about energy, we are talking about something like primary energy. Have you heard about this primary energy? What is this? In the short explanations, we are a little obligated to calculate how much is our influence on environment. Okay? How much is our influence? This is huge subjects. Many people are polemized with that. And as so far, this is what I would like to explain you. Many people are thinking that this energy from renewable energy will solve the problem. By many years from the beginning, when this political pressures was from this alternative, that this is good solution where you can choose, but the cost energy will not be cheaper. And why? We can ask why. If you imagine greenhouse, you know, the greenhouse to protect from the environment temperature in Poland, in this time you can have your products, salad. And if somebody tells you that when you have this greenhouse, you have all years, you know that it will be not true. Because if you would like to have this salad in this decibel, you need energy. And this is like with this energy from renewable energy sources. When you have 1 year balance, it works. But producer says, we can create this energy during December. Who will pay us from this additional? So this is good solutions, but this solution will not solve the problems. So I would like only to tell you without analyzing that we have many requirements about the wall, for example. You have some parameters how changing from the 1st January 2014, 70, 20 now. So this is about thermal transmitters. They are more and more restricted. Is it good or not? We can discuss. We have our opinion, but we have now something like energy performance certificate. Sometimes it works, sometimes it's not. This is we can talk about okay. But let us see about this transfer process. So this is from the measure value, this point. This is the temperature during the last 3 years. So lately, really this average temperature was a little greater, but is so. This heat transfer process is important. And when we are talking about this thermal comfort, about the heating system, we can notice that we have something like answer if you have new sources of energy. For example, like heat pump, especially air heat pump, they are not able sometimes working during the low temperature because the enthalpy of the air is lower. Okay? So, if we don't understand, and sometimes in my opinion, sometimes because many people don't analyze it, but producers want to be sure that during the heat, when the temperature is known, they add electric heater to their devices. You understand? And you think that you as heat pump, so you have any system which gives you cheaper energy, but you don't know how many hours work your heaters. So that's why sometimes you have proposition divided. When you have all sources energy, when you have very low temperature, so between this time work old system. Only few time it is much less efficiency, but this is not energy because electricity energy is the most expensive energy. This is about 4-5 times more expensive than here. So some informations about solar information. So we are somewhere here. Yes, we are somewhere here. You can look. We have about 1,000 kilowatt hour per meter square energy. And sometimes politics believe during the media that this system is so. And this is the graph which tell you what is the difference between our demand and our solar radiations. So this is our demand. So different kind of energy from. So look, this is depending on the different heating system, you can have different energy. So the solution which system is not so not important, it's important part. But this is energy we can have in January, February. But when we have sun, we don't need this energy. Okay? When you have cooling system, for you it's much, from my point of view, it's better because when you need more energy, when you need more sun, there is covered. We have quite opposite. This is what we need, this is what we can obtain. So, okay. Because I had information about architecture, so I would like to pay attention about this heat transfer. I don't know how much is your knowledge about this heat transfer process, but I would like only pay attention about some thermal resistance of the wall and on the window. Because we have some informations if you would like to calculate here, but this is what we are focused. And if you have the best wall about the heat transfer coefficients and you put windows always will be 4-5 times worse about heat transfer process. But you need to have. So this is about this projection with huge surfaces because this regulation is difficult. And what is about the results of our latest activities about this energy heating? When I was starting, when I finished school, I was working at the private company. By 2 years I made my whole small company. But there is our unit energy need which we have. Now we are much lower. So this is some of the people would like to have. So this energy we reduced so much. But the problem is that here the cost was cheaper than now this. And this is the main, so this is the main problem. But I would like to see that sometimes we did so much about this area that the pressing for new solutions for me is incredible, because you are not able each 2 year invest, because your money never came back and you need to do something more because the cost. But okay, this is a thing which we shouldn't. So about this date to our analysis, we need some boundary conditions. So we are using here in the annual energy needs, monthly, daily, when we have different environment, we can use in 1 minute steps if we would like. It's depending how precisely we should be. Sometimes it's important, sometimes maybe 1 month is enough, because we don't know what the temperature will be in the future. But there is this, okay. Okay, let's go to here. So you have some results we can analyze. This is some results which can be used to AI, because we are talking, I'm looking idea what we can do to make optimizations, to reduce these simulations, because this is my simulation, I can do that. But I would like to change the idea of these simulations. This is the monthly calculations procedure, some sample we can analyze. So there is no problem from us how much energy we need, we lost for dissipation by different kind of partitions. There is any problem. If you have more complicated, we can use this environment. I was using this environment like transit. This is quite popular in the United States, in Europe. Because you can add many components. You can build this component. This is not so easy because you need the knowledge C++ to use it, but you can analyze. If you have building like here, you can analyze, you can put the characteristic of using, you can do everything what you can imagine. But these informations, these results can be put to AI, because now we don't have, maybe I'm wrong, enough dates to use AI, because so there's the knowledge. So each of component, this is like small part of calculations. Okay, there is the results from this transits. It's maybe, let's see. This is what I personally built my own numerical program. I had cooperations with on the German market, and I would like to put you how precisely we want to be. I don't want to say that you should be, or it's good or not, but we would like to be, because, for example, on German market, it's important information. If you have a partitions, if you have boundary condition according to the requirement, you would like to know where will be the minimum temperature. Why we want to know that? The minimum would be here, for example, here. This is linear thermal bridges, and this is in the corner. Now we are not interesting, but in German it's important, because if the developer made a building and during the winter time there is the problem with moisture, with humidity, they can quarrel. So when we calculate this, our temperature will be over condensed point, over dew point, according to the Morier graph. If you know, it's okay. Okay? In old building, we didn't think about here, because if you have moisture, we have huge ventilations, because the ventilated was by the air, by the door. We are using oven. When you have low temperature, you just put oven to the next. But here, this temperature comfort we can discuss, because many of the people try protect, because when they have old building, they have 25 during the winter time. When we have heat pump, you put 22, 20, because when you put higher, you need to pay more. When you have your own, your trees, you don't analyze that. This is everything I'm talking, because many young people many students who are living in their apartment with parents, when I'm talking about unit cost, most of them doesn't know. I'm talking, you are the happiest man. You don't know how much your parents need to pay. But when you would live by your own, better is to know a little earlier what you decided, what apartment, what is your heating system should be. So for us it's important. So you can see that here is even according to the calculations by solving the derivatives equations, we have these calculations. I would like to, I'm showing you it because I feel good with all kind of this numerical calculation. I was programming by many years, but now I would like to use another devices how we can do that. And this is my stations I built in my lab, just to using solar energy. This was just idea, because what we can see, this is ground heat exchanger in the deep. This is what you have in Hanaba, but you didn't do it. This is nature. I did it. Telling the truth, this is not my idea. It's not I'm first. The people are doing Europe in here, but I wanted to use the energy from solars by buffer container, by heat exchanger to not put high temperature, to put this energy to ground. And during the summertime, we're adding energy to ground, we can get higher temperature. It's about 4-6 degrees. It seems that it's not huge, but this is very huge mass. And of course, about 70% can dissipate. But when during the winter season, this system based on heat pump start work, in the vicinity of the heat exchangers, the temperature is dropping down because we can get this heat flux. And the flow of heat flux from dissipated, because the temperature in the heat exchanger is less, is opposite. The direction is changing. And it saves us about 5-8%. This is maybe not good, but if you pay 300 and when you will pay 2.6 thousand, I'm talking about zloty, it makes sense. Of course, when you have this system based on heat pump, because to build these systems now, it's quite expensive. But this is my solutions about here. But when we find the solutions about this is for maybe some of you are not have experience about the heat pump. So this is some kind of devices we are using today. We are just to change these directions from lower environment temperature to higher. Okay, we will not be discussed. And this is my ground heat exchanger with the measurement point. So I can measure this point during the time. I can see how this temperature is changing. Okay. No, and so this is undisturbed when it was started. It's quite interesting. When you read the literature, you can see that in some places, like in the Mediterranean Sea, for example, Cyprus, this temperature is about 20. We have about 8 degrees. In the north, you can have, like Siberia, 0. But in Wrocław, the north, about 300 kilometers, 12. But each centimeter, each 1 degree, this is from engineering point of view, this is better efficiency, but at the end there is the money. So how can I change them? Oh, so what you can see about, for example, when we can regenerate this group. This is after heating season, and this is after regeneration. When I'm talking about this regeneration, this is like different topics I know. I would like to pay informations, because after that is hidden one informations, that people who has these systems can sometimes work not properly because they need to be projected, and sometimes it's not properly because to work properly you need informations about the ground, but it costs. And many people think that when they do dig a few kilometers here, it works, it will be works here. And when it were not here, when this temperature is dropping down, and you are working the system, our electric heater emissions start working. So the cost, so it's like this changing. So it's not, it seems not spectacular, but if you have without heating has not 40 degrees at 20, you will be great, you will be happy. Okay, so this is the changing the time. And I would like to show you a little about the some kind of numerical calculations which we are able to do together. Maybe you have some problem with the flow, with the heat transfer. This is the what you can see before. It was the anaerobic digester when the methane is produced. This is what close to what you were thinking about, and it's everything good. But during the winter time, this temperature is dropping down, and methane is not produced. This is when we were talking about the idea about what we can do. We can notice that this stable temperature is important, because I built the model like here. What we can do, the idea to produce methane from the race of agriculture is very good, but during the low temperature it doesn't work. But it doesn't work, we don't have electricity, okay? And we have road heat exchanger, we need energy. So we are able to build, we are able to calculate. This is made calculations with the numerical methods with environment answers. From the engineering point of view, the results can be lost, can be seen like here. Okay. In this roof, there is the airflow, because the pressure of the light keeps the cover. But during the summertime it's okay. During the winter time, this is lower temperature. As in the consequence, whatever we do, whatever we are thinking, we need energy during the summertime. During the summertime too for electricity, but heat energy during the winter time. So the idea is just to use, and this is what we are trying to do now with the kindergarten in Białystok. So you can see this kindergarten, and you know that this kindergarten there is after modernizations. This is the pictures from the winter time. You can see what is the difference temperature when you have greater temperature inside and outside. And this is energy we need for electricity. Okay, this is kindergarten much more, but this is energy for the heating. And whatever you do, you need energy. So the idea is just what I mentioned, just to find the method how to build a system to invest only with storage energy system and to use all these alternative energy sources which are in Europe. So that's why I'm here after my experience with the thermomoderizations, heating system, these calculations. I can see that what we can do now, maybe tomorrow will be quite a difference. Because whatever we do, we still need this energy. And this photovoltaic system, when we don't have sun, we don't have. So we can tell ourselves that we need this energy with traditional sources, as so far. But if we would like to reduce them, we need storage energy. Not to invest by ourselves, but use this system which is to buy it when the prices are lower, to accumulate, and during the prices will be higher, we can use our sources. Of course, when we have here, we can just use these lower prices from our neighbors. And to that, we need to build, I need help to build any system, okay, which will work independently, reacting for dynamic changes. Because in Europe, these requirements, these products, in general, the cost still changes. So what I can do now, it is good now, but in 1 year, it's good. When I was starting my engineering life, the most popular, the solutions with the best simple back time was gas, for example. Now, this money never came back, but we can do something. So this is what I wanted to tell you, that I have a huge experience because I'm energetic audit in Białystok from many years. I have experience about these numerical calculations, the thermal bridges, about building, about energy efficiency of building. But to develop, I would like to use AI. But AI, as so far, they don't have these dates. Because this date I can create. And when I create, other people we can use. So we need to change our thinking. How? I don't know. Okay, so this is all what I would like you to present. There is the time for you. Thanks for your listening to me. If you have any questions, please, we can just talk. We can just talk our this official part at the hall. Thank you for your coming.
Thank you for your presentation. I'd like to present myself. My name is Dr. Shuhada Amina. I'm a teacher in architecture department, and I would like to ask you a question just about what have you say about Anaba. I don't really understand what you have said about Anaba.
But you are green. I was mentioned that I was one day in Algiers, and when I fly from Algiers to Annaba, I was positive surprise that you are green, And when you will be in Poland, we have really many forests, I don't exactly here because we have more than about 100 years about the forest. We are green, but about the industry, the main industry is on the north, because to the north you are close to the Austria, Germany, Spanish, okay? So most of the companies want to develop on the north, because the distance is longer. But I don't want to complain to the south, and the truth is that when I go even to the Warsaw, I feel that the air is more dirty. When I go in the south, I can feel it.
Yes.
But when talking with these people don't feel it. But when they come to Poland, you can see, wow. For example, I have a friend in Poznan. Poznan is in the south. And when he comes, when he sees that from our university you can see the trees, he said, wow, I can go half hour to see the tree. Because everywhere you have concrete, buildings, streets. So that's why in this city especially, because I'm sure that this is not new idea, but most of the people from the huge cities were missing to the natures. So it's about Anna Naba. I was positive surprised that you are so green.
And more east in Kala.
Kala? Mm-hmm.
If you know this, this part of Algeria, it's more green than Annaba.
It's more green than Annaba.
More green and more. There's lakes, many lakes, and
Oh,
there's
it's nice, no?
une zone protégée. C'est pas
Okay,
protected area.
natural park. Okay, it's a
national park.
like national park.
Yes. Our colleague come from Prague.
Oh, it's nice. Telling the truth, I asked many Algerian people, did you wear a desert? And some of them said no, but we would like.
Not yet.
But not yet. But from my point of view, because I was born in Białystok, I spending my vacations time near the lakes in the freeze. So, for example, I could see only the desert on the films, on the pictures.
Yes,
so I would like to see
aggressive
sometimes. Yes. No.
To see all that
No.
sécheresse. We are here, all the professors here. Maybe you know that our first language in the university is French.
Yes, I know.
And we are trying to speak English.
Mm-hmm.
They would like if your summer school, your
Mm-hmm.
university
What's
have
French language?
no English
English.
for a teacher to
Yes, the summer school is in English.
in English.
The summer school is in
And we
English.
need specific English in our
Specialty.
If your university
Send?
can send
Yes,
us
yes, about
this,
this.
yes,
Okay.
yes, and
Mm-hmm.
especially in our discipline, not English in general, because we can talk in
Okay,
English.
we can do
Mais
that. Mhm.
specifically, d'ailleurs, I was traducing during
Introduction.
your speech from French to English to catch
Okay.
technical
Mhm.
language.
Mhm.
If your university can
To receive us.
Okay.
voilà, to receive us to information.
It shouldn't be a problem. Okay. I would like to ask you about the contacts, maybe Alexander or something, because I can send you these information about summer school, just to look at this vocabulary and to try is it what you expect.
Thank you.
No?
Thank you.
It's not, I think it's not a problem, but I know about the French. Now, French is very known, France is very known, everybody, most of us was one in the past in the France. France is very popular, but French language nowadays is not popular. But 20 years ago, 30, many people were starting, but now, number one is English, number two is Spanish, you know. And many people try to start learning Spanish, but most of them stop because this is like with Arabic. When you are talking with Chinese, they are talking what Chinese you would like to speak because you are talking about Mandarin. This is 6% of population use the Spanish we are using. Of course, this is in the industry because this part are very, but you are not able to talk with all the Chinese. This is like this Arabic in French. So probably maybe from of the South American that there is Spanish in now in United States. Many people says that more people talks in Spanish now than in English. No. No. So, but I think that I would invite you. I invite you because if you will be. It's important to develop ourselves, to see just, to start building, to see how people create things. So
we need this language, but so many years we used to talk in French. And
don't worry. When I was born, we were under Russian. This is our under. This is Brussels. But for many years, I was teaching which language? Russian. Yes, I was 25 years over when I was starting a little earlier, but I wanted to learn English.
Some German language in your accent, no? German.
If you will listen to the German, you will feel that this is quite different accent. No, this is quite. I have friends from German, but I wanted to say that. By many years, I was learning Russian.
We hope that we.
And it was the best friend, Russia. But now, if I would tell you something good about Russia, I am fascism. This is the truth. I know I have friends from Russia, and people are afraid because I'm quite trying to be opposite because it's depending on the people. Because we will talk together always. Sometimes the problem is. Next time I can promise I will remember many words from French language because I was starting learning French, but I didn't use it.
It's better for us to listen to English. To practice.
To have more practice. It was a nice pleasure to see you. It was my pleasure to all.
My question, the study is on wall of foods or in concrete, of concrete?
About here,
Yeah.
there is the technology from 90 years that we have concrete. The construction was from concrete.
Okay.
Places between the concrete, between the construction parts, was the bricks. And the outside we have 50 centimeters of mineral wool or styrofoam. Okay? Because when you have partitions, your coefficient of transmittance was, according to new requirements, not enough. Because now the maximum value of coefficient is 0.2 watt per meter square Kelvin. But in previous it was about 0.5. In 60 years, about 1. So we have 5 times better.
It's better for efficiency. For
Yes,
energy.
yes, yes. It's much better. You can feel it. Yes, it's much better. But these solutions will not solve this economy, this energy problem. But
Alternative
yes.
energy needed.
Yes.
The balance with two
Yes,
energy.
yes. So without any changing the politics like is Algeria because I like it. About the sources which you are used by your society, I have huge respect because we have coal, but we can use the coal. By many of years, we are using coal. We have for 1,000 years coal. But
The climate is changing.
yes, the climate is changing, and you're recording, yes? But you can notice that Europe is dropping down. Europe is killing, but the climate will be changing. So if everybody of us will kill, it can change because our influence in total industry is about not all 8%. Each year, the Chinese, the India develop a new coal power plants. You are not saying, but I understand this is politics. I don't want to take the politics. I'm talking about the results because the consequence is that we have in Europe the most expensive energy unit cost. But in Poland, we have the most expensive compared to Europe. Can you imagine? It's hard to believe, but it is.
Yes. I want to thank you for your presence between us, for your presentation. And I have noticed in this image that the most of heat loss are concentrated behind the windows and the doors.
Yes.
And I want to ask about the labels and standards developed for the new constructions.
Yes.
I know that they are very developed in
Yes.
the materials of construction, isolation.
I would like to understand. We have many researchers about constructions to correct better thermal transmittance. We have 3 plates glass. Now, you have 1. We have 3 plates glass. The main problem is connections frame with the wall. Because all the window, you have good resistance, thermal resistance. But when you put in the hole in the constructions, you can 2 possibilities, or just to check the workers, and sometimes, now lately, people using camera, and on the agreement there is informations how okna should be set for heat. This is heat methods. Because standard that we are using the styrofoams which expand, and when you are not precisely to do, what you can see, this is this effect. This is the effect about how this window were constructed, not the windows from productions. Okay, because at the production you have standards, but it's how it is built in the world is depending on the workers. But if they do everything well, always the weakest point, this is on connections, wall frame and frame glass. This is the weakest point. And everywhere you will have thermal bridges. Okay? But it doesn't mean that this is bad product. This is consequence of 3-dimensional heat transfer process. Our role in engineering is only reducing. So this temperature profile from numerical simulation is just was to assess. When you will be in maybe, but it should be winter time, you can notice that when you have window, when you have low temperature, you have condense on the window. And this condensation is always near the frame. Of course, where you have huge humidity, when you have huge difference, you will see these condensations on there. This is like when you take a bottle of the milk, beer from the fridge, you will take this condensation. You have different temperature because the air near, there is not enough enthalpy to have this water which is in the air. When you have greater temperature, you have greater possibility of accumulations. So this is the first consequence. But talking about the picture, you need to remember, you should remember that you shouldn't analyze difference thermograph. When you will do this thermograph, you know this boundary, you can assess. Because using the thermograph, I can do from the worst building that it will be very good, because you put this temperature range is depending on you. But I can show you that the best building is the worst, you know? Because when you put this different temperature, when you have these thermal bridges, you will say, wow, this is bad building. It's not, but this is only information if you have a problem, when you can look this problem, when you can look. Now this thermograph is popular because we have many buildings which are modernized. This is, it is. There is something maybe can be strange, that building which was modernized exactly 21 years ago and has, this is, I'm talking about the school. They had wall and 50 centimeters of the styrofoam 20 years ago. Now, to this layer is added 25. We can discuss is it good or not. I have my own opinion, but after that, we can see that there is second explanations about here. Because from engineering point of view, it seems it doesn't make sense. Because simple bake time is, for example, 100 years. You will never invest in something when your simple bake time is so long, because your product never works this time. You will never see what will be, but it's done. So it's maybe there is close to this engineering problem, but I don't know exactly even is there any solutions for now. We are just as some experience. We would like to have that we are able to make some simulations, to make calculations, to correct something. But I was focused just to using this. Maybe we can do, maybe I can do some these simulations, and this will be the date of the AI, for example. And next time we don't need to make. I have in my mind, but in the maybe next few years, I will not be able to make these simulations because having this date, I will have my results out about, for example, two-dimensionals. When I would put two bytes, for example, maybe, this is maybe a new idea, because as so far, when you have a good building, for example, passive building, especially when you like to have government support, you need to make numerical simulations of thermal bridges. But if you have basic data, you will have results without the simulations, because these simulations, for me, this result, for me, I don't want to talk about the, for example, half years I was writing this program, because I was doing it by myself. But one today I need to introduce this data, because you should be very careful. You have to put geometry, parameters, boundary conditions. It takes a lot of time, because of course you can do this program, but you know, everything you can do, but the question is how much energy you need. Maybe using AI, I will not able to calculate, and I will have these beautiful results from different geometry. It would be great, because I can take any building, any architecture, I put this geometry, and I have results. And I can see, because I don't know, sometimes architectures, when I was building my home about 2006, where I wanted to put on the groove to protect from the erosion about 80 degree of centimeters. And architects say, whoa, you are making thermos, oh, you are crazy, you are crazy. Now people make it 25, 30, nobody's crazy. But 20 years ago, everybody was crazy. My friend's order, he was adding thermal isolation 8 centimeters, 8. And workers said, you are crazy. Everybody did 4. Why you want 8? Everybody did 4. And he was working with me in the university, but he wanted to do better than always to protect energy for the future. And what he did now, any requirements, he would never obtain permission for building with this thermal resistance. So everything is changed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Maybe we open for students if they want to ask a question.
Yes, okay, this is for everybody.
الطلبة تاعنا الطلبة اللي حابين يسقسيو على أي موضوع يخص الجانب.
No, it's okay, so I can close it to you.
But as you can see, in April, the degrees is over like in June, July, it's 50 degrees in some cases. So we consume a very high very big amount of energy, and we don't have even we consume a very big amount. Like as an architecture student, I want to know how you can this elevation system, like to have this like the balance between the outside and the inside, and like we at the same time not consuming a big amount of energy. I want to know how we can use this system by our future building.
I will tell you how I can see it. But remember that maybe in 2 years, when there will be new solutions, in the next 2 years, the answer will be different. But for today, first, you need to remember about your cooling demand, how much energy for cooling you need, and its consequence, your construction. If you have better water with less possibilities to get the solar radiation, you use less energy for cooling. You have good walls which has the space. So wall protect properly. But in many cases I know you have huge surface. So you have huge surface of the wall. Window. So you have much gain from solar. Gain, this is what you can get from solar. So yes, so that's why the doors are so. From architecture point of view, you can. It's not obligatory, but for big buildings it makes sense to make some simulation. It's not so easy. Some knowledge that I can do. I can do mechanics operations to calculate how huge window, how the surface of the window influence on your cooling demand. This is first. So we can notice what is this part. Of course, the minimum surface to have the light should be this. So we are not talking just about the second one. This is properly. You should set your cooling system. What I was noticing in your new building But in Europe, nobody does it. This is not about this is bad construction, but you have radical ventilation. So when you have huge buildings, you part of university, understand well. This is I will not complain because I don't know the boundary conditions. But in which system now we are using mechanical ventilation. When you have mechanical ventilation, you have channels. Of course, you need to remember about you can clean the system, but you have ventilators, fans. You can this hot air you can take you, okay, but throw it away, and that temperature from the some places when you have shadow, by heat exchanger, you can put with lower temperature.
So
And
it's
you-
transform the...
Yes, this is about, because now I don't see any ventilation scanner. So when there will be many people, everybody will be breathing, you will feel, there is many subjects I didn't mention, so like CO2. I'm not talking about climate because now the Soviet Union are crazy about CO2 because we need CO2 to live. Our plants need CO2. If you don't have CO2, you will have nothing to eat. Not about the meat because animals, we don't have to eat too. We need this CO2. But now when we are outside, we have about 400 ppm of CO2. When you have 1,000, and it will be when the people will be maybe 50 more. When you close the door, after half hours, you have over 1,000. When you have over 1,000, you are sleeping,
Get tired.
you are get tired. When you open this window, you have, of course, the flow. You will feel better. You have lower CO2. But you can open, you can control, because you are in few months. So we need information. This is not from research. Each of us need about 20 meter cubic per hour of fresh air to feel good. So when you have, for example, you should calculate how many people are here. So if you calculate, I will take you from the ventilation engineering. So when you have, for example, 20 people, you have 20 rows, so you have 400 people. 400 people multiplied by 20 meters. This is our requirements. So you need the channel, main channel, and from you have a few points, you can have up, you can have down. It's depending. Because when you have down, you have more surface, because if you have one point, you have like winter huge, but if you have many channels, you have small slow. You don't feel it. You are sitting, you can hear sometimes the ventilation. It is not so far. You can see that the system is working. Okay? So in our buildings, we can just put this ventilation, it works. We turn on, this is manual, but in more buildings, they work, they have sensor CO2. So you don't turn when the CO2 is dropping down, or temperature, or humidity, is depending how complex the system. So the main department is first temperature, humidity, and CO2. And this ventilation starting work. So they put this outside, so you have channel, and on inlet, on outlet, you have filter. So you need to make mechanical ventilations with heat recovery. This is what on the first slide for the building. We are focused on the heat recovery, and focus was on energy because I'm like energetic outlet. I focus most of the clients would like to pay less. This is the main target, pay less. But general, when you have thermal comfort, you have to pay less. But when you don't have thermal comfort, you should think about here. So back to your answer. First, properly power to your demand for cooling. Make mechanical ventilation. Because this climatization typically is like a pond. Here. If you have small area, it's okay.
That one.
Yes.
You can get
Yes.
the cool area
Yes,
right there,
yes,
and I
it's
mean,
okay. But for these people, no, because this heat will be they will be here. You will here. So.
Uncomfortable, like very hard, like here.
Yes.
The only place like with the cool system, just
Yes, but this is limited area, this cooling system. But even if you do here, this is not, this you have, but this is not, from ventilation's point of view, this is solutions for existing building. But for new building, general we don't do it. Okay, you can do in my house, for example. I have my house, I can do, but I didn't do that by, that's why, because I have heavy building. I did heavy building because during the summer time, the partitions take this energy. So when I have outside even 35, I have 24, for example, inside. When the temperature during the night is getting high, these partitions take this energy. So, but in each case, remember, there is no golden solutions. Each solution has advantage and disadvantage. This system which I'm talking, you have comfort, but it costs. Because this system, you need care.
the mechanical system.
Yes, with mechanic, you need cost. You need to check filters. Because I'll show you something, okay? Okay. I don't want to hear you, but I would like to show you something. I will show you the picture from the quote. My friend who was working engineering with mechanical ventilation. He asked me if I would like to see how the channel after 2 years in the hospital in home, it doesn't matter. How can you find it? Okay? This is bedside. So because they are dirty. Why they are dirty? Because people call do something because the system doesn't work. Doesn't work because the filters were blocked. Okay? So the producer tells that you shoot this filter every 3 months. Every 3 months. So this is quite unique. You will still remember there's 3%, but it doesn't, in my opinion, not only mine, but it isn't worth it every 3 months. You should to check sometimes, depending on the people, maybe 1 month, sometimes 1.5 year, but you should. There is the special robots who going and they clean. It's expensive. So you have to answer what you want. You have to confirm. Yes, so there isn't one golden solution. When I was building, I mentioned about my home because I did it, not that I'm thinking that it's a bad system, but in my mind I had idea to build house which will be independent about energy, about, okay? So I built, I will show you one of my friends from Tunisia. I have never been, I said in Tunisia, but I will show you my this is, for example, this is from Tunisia. No, Tunisia. This is the color. This is auto. But this is, as you can see, at the back of our there is the oven. This oven must 3 doors. I can call here. Okay, I learn. They take much because I have channel. And this alcohol from the burning is absorbed by all this mass. So, like you have this heater, when after 2-3 hours, it's hot. After 6 hours, it's like another. When it's another, it's very hot. It's not dangerous. It's hot. This is not like water, but when I stop filling, by 2 days, they give me the first day, a little wall, but it's not. So my idea is, because this kind of oven was built by our grandparents. Okay, now our civilization said, oh, this is bad. It should be something. So I didn't ventilation because ventilations need energy. Okay? When there is no electricity, I don't have traditional channels for ventilations. I don't have ventilation system. Okay? But it doesn't work properly because I don't have heat exchanger. I can not obtain this heat, but I'm independent. So, because I'm living a little outside from the Białystok, about from border of Białystok and from the center about 50 kilometers. But sometimes, because we have many forests, when it's huge winter, one tree is full, I can add fire, I can cover the milk, and my father, my children, also only. Father, explain me, this is my children, said, why when we are talking with our neighbors, they are saying when we don't have electricity, they are just call for pizza. You understand?
They can cook.
Because, yes, because we have gas, we have air. If we don't have electricity, no problem, I just got tea during the dinner time. But they don't nothing, because they electric cooker, everything for electric. And they have nothing. So if you'd like to eat something, they call it the pizza going. So I don't want to say that this is they chose. No, it's okay. I wanted only to say that I, the person who are convinced that we should decide what kind of sources we should have. What is the best for us? Yes. This is like with the food. If I will like that, don't eat here. You should eat only this what I prefer. You will not be happy. Okay? Because you feel, now I want to eat here. Okay? Sometimes you are on the fiesta, you like to eat something what you don't eat usually. Okay? But you know that this is not good for you, but because this is celebration. Generally, don't eat celebrate. Okay? So, but now, this is what I live. I'm a little afraid to talk to be good, understandable, because the Europe was quite different when I was young, when I was finished my study. 20 years it was quite different, and now it's totally different. This is not good direction, so for us, I don't want to develop. If you would like, we can talk. But for me, I'm not happy of what's now going to be the world. Because as you imagine, I will explain you. Can you imagine now that there is any country like, okay, you are the greatest country, but like, for example, greater like China, and not China, so maybe let's say, it came to you, said to your government, you don't need to use gas. And gas say, okay, we will not be using gas. And the government said, you need to use photovoltaic system. You need to use heat pump. Your electricity cost extremely too high if you will not use your own gas. But we have this situation. I'm opposed here. I would like Poland to be independent, but we are not independent. We are independent in TV. Because Germans said, you are independent, you have to pay. When the gas was from the Russia, by Germany to Poland, we are independent. But now there is no Russia, so Germany thinks, now we are not saving money from gas, so heat pump, because we have our heat pump. And the people who are talking in Polish, German said, now gas will be forbidden. And now I have gas, and in few years, gas will be forbidden. Okay? I have what I need only to have heat pump, but heat pump is electricity. I'm angry for that because this is country I love. Here I have my children. I don't want that my children was working only for energy. I don't want here. So I'm against it. The system don't like me, my government don't like me, the government don't like me because I'm telling the truth. This is the truth. We have the greatest cost. The people, no. Industry, yes. The people would have heard cheaper, but industry has so many Polish companies are collapsed. Understand? We don't have work, money. I'm at university. I obtain money, okay, to come here. But most of us would like to have save our money and decide what to do and not ask somebody, because everything now, the companies not to give money and just making a project. And they opening companies, but 2 years they collapse, they make money, they are shooting another project. This is idea for say for many years ago.
It's like a fraud.
Yes. Many years ago, if you like to win money, you would like to do something. But now, no. Now it's how to shoot what kind of projects. We obtain some money after how much work should we finish our project in 5 years. Okay, 5 years means last day the devices. I know these companies very developed, and after 5 years, for example, everything was sold. Nobody is interested because the target is obtain money. I don't want that everybody do that, but if this person will be honest, if they want it, they will be fine to pay. They will find the person with money, they will be cooperating. But the engineering are too weak to do that. The lawyers, they know everything, they know. So I can tell you, for example, to this drawing, this device machine to make it draw is very expensive. And one of my friends bought this machine, very, very, very expensive. Yeah? And I heard, oh, good machine, quite expensive. I was surprised that you buy it. Oh, no, I get support. It's important to write a good, how can I say, you know the word. You know the word applications. We need to know the good application. And what does it mean a good application? It means that I pay about good class for one person and he wrote me. And this person knows that the other person, this is good application. If you got very good application, but you know this, you will never obtain the money. So this is the system we are living. I'm not here because I don't agree with you. This is like, I'm talking here because I think that you are able to understand because of this correlation with French, that you can love and you can hate him, that everything you pay, but this is like, from France's point of view. When you have money from Africa, you are good friends. But the country said, no, we independent. No, this is... No, you can be. But you are independent when you are paying for us. Not the paying personality. Yes. So this now is important. We are independent. Everybody who has another opinion. I don't want to say that I am right. Not about, but I'm talking about what I think. Nobody listens. Because there is free, you can tell what you feel. But one case, you have to think like other tells you. When you're thinking you are Russian agent, you are fascist. But I said only to have lower prices of energy. Okay, so this is crazy now. Maybe next year I will not be able to talk about here because I don't know what will be because there is a project to looking for what people are talking, what people are writing. And when you write, you can obtain punishment. So this is the last time. And people are afraid because, for example, Ukraine is telling something bad, it's okay. But if you tell one day for Ukraine, well, you can go to the prison Poland.
So they spy us?
Yes. But this is story. You don't know where this is true. You are fighting. I'm a fighter.
I'm fighting. We will see what 20 years I was fighting.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
So maybe we will close the نشكر الأستاذ على المحاضرة تاعو. We thank you very much for your effort for the conference and for any information you gave to the students, to the teachers, to the invited persons. So very, very happy to receive you here, and I hope the audience. Yes. So thank you very much.